Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo Select Care.
Half a day. I'm Claire Calvo, bringing you your weekly renewal. Today, I am here with Barbara Calvo Damron, who is a registered nurse, and first and foremost, she's my sister. So thanks for being here today, Barb.
You're welcome. Very welcome.
So I wanted to talk to you about a lot of different things. August is National Wellness Month, but specifically, I wanted to talk about your role as a registered nurse. Now as I just have a glimpse into the life of a caregiver and have such a deeper, richer appreciation and respect for those who actually have chosen that profession. Everything from like a registered nurse to those who, like here on Guam, we have the Home Services of the Pacific. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about here on Guam, since you've been visiting the resources that we have here, but from your role as a nurse, give us a little, first of all, your background and your experience in that field.
Okay, well, I've been a nurse for over 30 years, and my first taste of nursing was actually in a nursing home as a candy striper, or more of a certified nurse, nursing assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked directly with the elderly that were in homes and needed the full care. So I had a little taste there. And then into nursing, the hospital, a lot of the seniors and age that we work with, plus most recently, when I had home health care experience for about a few years of my nursing career, dealing with a lot of the homebound seniors, elderly, and those that needed a lot of support and couldn't get out of the home.
Yeah. I'm curious, really quick, what sparked your interest in that specific age group?
I've always felt an affinity for the elderly, the manangku, because they have so much experience of life, and speaking to them, they had so much wisdom and a part of their life where they were just so vibrant and productive in what they did for society. And then of course with our Guam background and tradition, our respect for the manangku,
Absolutely.
I just had that connection with them. And that's where my heart has always been, is closer to those that are the seniors and those with wealth of wisdom. So that's where my connection is.
But have you also done hospice care? Is there a difference?
Yes, hospice is more for individuals that have had chronic conditions that are usually not reversible. You hear a lot about a hospice mainly with cancer care, but there's also for end of care for seniors that have unfortunately diagnoses that are not reversible, that we're just trying to keep them comfortable and give them good quality of life, because we all know that all our lives will end here on earth, and it's trying to give them a life of quality and dignity. So that's hospice care. And not all seniors are at that point, but as we see with high technology, with medicine, people are living a lot longer. It's not always quality of life, it could be quantity of life, but the quality of life may not always be as we would like it at the level.
Yeah. So here on Guam, there's like I was saying earlier, there's Guam Tranquilidad, there's St. Dominic's, and we have the home care of the Home Services of the Pacific. But for those who are caregivers, first, can you give us tips on how to care for those, our loved ones?
I think it's really important to always look what resources are available in the community. I haven't worked as a nurse on Guam for over 20 years, but I know that there are some outreach programs through UOG. I've also been a participant of some of the modules by Dr. Twaddle and the support care they have for dementia and the elderly. So those are areas to look into, but it's really important to remember that they're a very special population when you get into that part of your life where you really need a lot of support, because a lot of our manangku, they're losing their friends, have passed away. They don't have as many family that can support them. The economy is hard, and so I think they struggle. So it's important to remember that they have their own struggles, even though the families that are supporting them are trying their best. But always look to the resources. And I found Dr. Twaddle's modules in caring for individuals with dementia and the elderly to be really very good resources. Because even as a nurse, even though I have not dealt with personally until recently a family member who is going through dementia, actually how it impacts me. And I didn't realize how much I did not know.
Right. So you mentioned Dr. Twaddle. He's at UOG.
Yes.
And I believe it's Guam, Micronesia, Geriatric Workforce.
Yes.
So that's how people could probably look him up online. And these workshops or these modules, they're free, right? They're basically
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I think it's through a grant that they're able to provide this.
Exactly. And the details of what the elderly and those with dementia might be going through, to try and understand it from their perspective, because there's stressors on both the individual going through it as well as the caregivers.
Right, and that's what I want to talk to as well. But when you speak of caring, like you said, it's not just their physical care, but their mental, emotional care.
Yes.
And taking all that into account. Because even though we see the changes, sometimes we forget that they're still in there and we don't know exactly what they're experiencing in them, not just physically, but emotionally.
Exactly. And they're not, some of the individuals with dementia may not have that communicative part of verbally speaking what's understandable. So sometimes learning the cues of what's painful, what's making them sad. A lot of the Manamco and Guam or from the Micronesian islands revert back to their mother language, speaking more Chamorro than English. So making sure you understand. It's so important to help them with that more emotional and spiritual support as much as it is the physical.
Yeah, absolutely. And another one that I remember seeing a few YouTubes on is TP Snow. I think that's it.
TP, yes.
Yeah, so
yes.
she also provides a lot of invaluable information. And a lot of it is caring for those, your loved ones, but I also want to talk to you about caring for ourselves as caregivers. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next time on your weekly renewal for part 2 with Barbara Calvo Damron.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo Select Care.